What would you change if you could about your childhood?
Of course, I would want my dad there, a lot more. But if my mom wasn't gonna be happy, then I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want my sister to go through the things that she went through. That's one of the big things I would change.
What's a constant worry you had growing up that you felt helpless in resolving?
I guess the openness in our family. Um, everybody is very just. Everybody plays everything close to the vest. We don't really divulge everything. I wish I would have been a little bit more proactive in keeping communication with my father's side of the family. I don't really know them like that, and I've had some bad encounters with, well, I should say bad, I would say challenging encounters with some of my father's side of the family. But I still should have kept that door open, still pursued, a better relationship with them.
The people you had issues with, did it ever change? Did they ever change the way they were?
Well,
no resolve.
No, well, I don't know. We don't really.
You don't.
I'm sure if we speak now, like it probably would be like, what? That happened? No. Like it probably would be nothing. Like I'm not holding any grudges, and I'm sure they're not either. Yeah. Like, but one person who I won't get to speak to, she passed away and didn't even tell us. I mean, that like nobody from that side of the family told us. We found out years later. Oh yeah, so and so died. Like they were sick. So and so died, and it's just like that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about as far as like the openness and the forthcomingness. Like
this is family.
This is family, and our family is very.
I mean, because even through the grapevine, you usually hear about somebody. I mean,
nothing.
Wow.
And and that stuff like that is just like it sucks, and I think that's because if we were a little bit more aggressive and proactive at keeping everybody together, like my mom's side of the family down south, they're very tight knit. Oh, that's so and so. This is that. Your family's in Alaska. We can go here and whatever. Like they know who and where everybody is for the most part. My father's side of the family, everybody's just kind of
everywhere.
Yeah.
What do you like best and least about yourself?
What I like least is that I'm very short-tempered at times. I internalize it, but I let a lot of things piss me off. But I've worked to challenge myself to not let things bother me as much and to become just a better person to other people. I love the fact that I'm willing to challenge myself and to make myself better.
Conscious effort.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I don't like, at least, is I would want, for me, my follow through. At times, I struggle. Many times, I struggle with good follow through.
For example,
with things that I want to accomplish.
Acting. What do you think is? What do you think cuts that drive off? Is it a fear of failure? A lot of people are scared of failure. But if you don't try.
I think it could be bits of different things. I think it is a fear of failure. I think it is a fear of trying something and not having safety. Like, yeah, say, like, of course I want to, want to be able to go on auditions. I want to write. That's the main thing. I want to create shows. I want to open restaurants. Like, there's a lot of things that I would like to do.
You think it's a lack of focus? Because you mentioned about 5 different things right now. That would require a whole lot of focus.
But it also requires
passion
and faith. You know, you have to be able to
believe in what you're pursuing.
Well, yes, and you also have to, as they say, you know, trust in the process. You know, and the fact that you, like, look at Tyler Perry. You know, he was homeless trying to create, you know, trying to promote Medea. He already had it written and had it on stage at one point, this, that, and third. Wound up being home. Like, you have to be willing to go through all of those things.
You don't think you're ready for that type of struggle?
I think that's what is...
Maybe you're just content in your life right now and there's no real reason to pursue anything.
I think it's more fear.
Fear.
I think it's more fear that...
Are you doing anything to get yourself out of these fears? Like putting yourself in a situation that you wouldn't put yourself in just so you can overcome it? So you can break through this wall? Yeah?
Here and
What's the last situation it was uncomfortable but you stepped in just to get over that?
Well, you know what? Honestly, changing my approach with people, I became a lot more vocal and I don't want to say friendly, but a lot more vocal and more people. Okay, when I started working for a hospital, there were a lot of things that actually made sense, you know, and I know some people say don't believe the hype or don't drink the Kool-Aid, this, that, and third, but a lot of things, it really encouraged me to want to become better. Like, you know, you see somebody 3 feet away, you say hello. You know, if they're 5 feet away, you know, at least wave or something, you know, or just saying that hello and, you know, being, you know...
Be more personable?
Being more personable. Like, I think that is something that
you appreciate about yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people do, too.
I do.
Did you have any hobbies growing up?
To this day, I love traveling.
Traveling was your hobby as a child?
Yeah.
Really?
I would say because my family, we would go on, you know, either going to Pennsylvania, going down south, going to Florida, my mom took us to Europe.
Wow.
And my cousin and I, we were always adventurous. Not saying that we're going, you know, all the way to California, things like that, but for 12 and 13-year-olds to, you know, back in the day, you know, taking the Beeline bus from Fordham Road all the way up to Westchester, you know, it took hours. It took hours. Yeah, it was an adventure for...
As a kid, there's no cell phones. Once you're out there, you're in the world.
You're out. Yeah,
it's literally an adventure. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
There's no phone call for mom to come. There's no GPS.
Nothing.
No Uber. It's just a wild New York City.
And especially back then.
You
know, it's like if you didn't know the number to a cab,
it's it.
You just had to show up at a base, you know, something, or ask somebody.
What time is Rodger coming home? He'll be here.
He'll be here eventually.
Yeah.
You know, and it was crazy.
Okay. Tell me a funny story or situation involving you.
Cute short story. Was working at... I mean, it's not very important. It's not an important story, but I thought it was... I still think about this. I was working at this Benny's Burrito, this place called Benny's Burrito in Greenwich. And, you know, just standing there and... and a woman walks in and I'm like, you know, hey, how's it going? You know, I said, and she's like, hey, you know, I'm gonna place my order for such and such. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, so, you know, anybody ever tell you you look like Drew Barrymore?
No.
And she was like, yes. And
it was Drew?
And she was like, I am Drew Barrymore.
Wow.
I was like, Drew Barrymore? I was like, I am such a huge fan But it was funny because it was like just one of those kind of experiences where you're just like, I want to say only in New York kind of thing.
I just saw 50 First Dates the other day with Adam Sandler. It was a good movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
it's a cute movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I am a huge fan of hers, and it was really cool to meet her.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What was your favorite food as a child? What's your diet like now as an adult? And what brought on the change, if there's any change from how you ate as a child or a teenager?
I eat horrible as an adult.
So there's no change.
Yes, there's a lot of good changes, but a lot more changes to make. When I was younger, oh my gosh, the stuff that they had for kids was horrible.
Chico sticks.
Between the Chico sticks and the
Annihilators,
the Nerds.
Chips.
No, even taking it further back, the Sundew juices that used to come in the little. They used to come in like the milk cartons. It was like Sundew.
Never heard of that.
You never, or like they were the makers of the quarter waters.
Okay.
They used to call them quarter waters. If you look at the top, the brand was called Sundew, and they used to come in like a milk carton also.
It sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's nothing but chemicals and sugar, and I would drink that. I would drink and eat all
so
that
you
kind
haven't
of
changed, or is there any significant change? Something
yes.
that's changed?
Yeah, I don't.
Did it affect you in any way, like physically?
I hope so.
I mean, you don't feel no change in the food that you.
I mean, I don't like a lot of changes now. Like, I don't drink sodas. I don't eat. Well, if I do drink a soda, it's either seltzer or like more of a fruit spritzer. I don't eat high fructose corn syrup and things like that. Like, I actually pay attention to what I'm eating, and I look at the labels but I still eat fried foods. I still love chicken. I still love Chinese food.
Horrible. Chinese food is horrible.
Chinese food is not the best thing to eat as far as diets are concerned. Well, not the things I like to eat.